are listening to a High Standard production.
All right, yo, man. Welcome back to the Geekset podcast, the only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is One-on-One with Deuces, where I speak with the curators, and people that you should know. And right now, it is a very, very special episode, benchmark episode. We are speaking with the amazing Katie, a.k.a. PikaChulita, and she is the first woman ever to be on this platform with Geekset. I am so excited. How are you doing today?
I am doing pretty damn good. I really can't complain. I mean, given the circumstances of everything else that's happening in the world, I feel like things in my personal life are actually going really, really well.
You know what's funny? So we started these interviews during COVID, right? And it was one of those things where it kind of forced us to call it audible, because we were doing just straight podcasts and we knew that we wanted to jump into more content. Mm-hmm. So we was like, all right, well, fuck it. We just sitting at home right now. So let's just jump full-fledged. So I started reaching out to people, getting these interviews. We started doing more twitching. And so now we're like, okay, let's invest in that. And we got this spot. And it's funny because even though the world is crazy, as a creator who creates from things that are normally here or at a studio, we was able to thrive and still build. We launched our Patreon. Things have just been moving as we go. So I understand that a lot. Especially with you being a Twitch gamer, it's it doesn't really slow down. If anything, it probably gave you more time to do stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and y'all have been moving. Honestly, with COVID, it's picked up for sure. And I mean, coming with me being partnered and just everything else, there's just so much has happened over the last couple of months. So it's definitely, I did not think it was gonna, I guess, turn out this way, I think, because I kind of thought that, I mean, I don't know kind of what I was expecting. Granted, I've never really been through a pandemic before, but it's and that's why I kind of said that things in my personal life have been well outside of everything else that's going on, because it's just been a steady stream of just a lot. So I completely get it.
So why the name PikaChulita?
Okay, so this is, I feel like I have a very different people. It's not as exciting. The name, the meaning behind the name and how it came to be is not as exciting as what somebody would think. So basically, back on my earlier days on Twitter, I've been through I've only been through actually 2 name changes. So I used to be pretty big into the Lady Gaga fandom. I wasn't stans because they're anyways. But I, and her fans call themselves monsters and stuff like that. So this was back when I was in high school, and I had been told my whole life, because obviously I'd been called Chula and things like that, which is beautiful, gorgeous. So I would call myself it was Chula_monster. And then I just was kind of thinking one day, I was like, well, I want something different. Yeah. And I love Pikachu. I have Pikachu stuff literally all over my room. And I just combined, because I said, I would get called Chula or Chulita, things like that.
Right.
And I just combined Pikachu with Chulita, and it stuck. And that's just it. Just kind of everybody's like, oh my God, I love your name. It's so cute. And that's just kind of, everybody loved it. So I was like, okay, well, this is me now.
It definitely rolls off the tongue very well. It's one of those.
Oh, thank you.
That when you get that when you hear it, you see it, it's oh, let me see what that's about. And everything.
Right.
It's way more interesting than my name. My name. So I said I'm an artist, podcaster. I go by Young Deuces, and literally I just thought it was a dope name. And then, but knowing that, I was like, all right, if I do get some notoriety, somebody's gonna ask me about it. I gotta come up with a name. So I was trying to make up a fake story try to give it some type of context, and it was just like, it was a force. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Listen.
It's just because it's cool. Right. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's dope.
So you also, so your platform of choice is PS4, right? Or did you change?
Well, okay. So if we're I love my PS4, do not get me wrong, but at this point in my life, I equally spend as much time. I mean, I kind of always been that way, but I mean, especially in like later years, I've equally spent as much time playing my Switch and being on my PC.
So that's what I was going to ask next, because it seems like this has been one of Nintendo's most popular systems yet, because as soon as it hit, and then the games that they provided, and just like being able to be on the go or hook it up, it was a big hit, way better than the Wii. I wasn't too big fan of the Wii or the Wii U. Like, they had a few games that I rock with, but like for the most part, I was like, I'd never seen Nintendo really like this aggressively be in this competing field in a while.
Right.
So, yeah. And that's what
I absolutely, I mean, the Switch, I love it. And like you said, it's able to play on the go. My biggest appeal to it is I can lay on my bed and play it because I'm lazy. And I work from home, so I sit at my computer desk all day. And a lot of times when I get off work and if I'm not streaming, I get in bed and I'm like, but I want to play stuff. So I'm like, well, I have my Switch. So I'm actually really looking forward to tonight. I play Splatoon, and they're actually running Splatfest this weekend. And so that's literally my plans for like the weekend is like, and especially tonight, I'm like, I'm going to be in bed and I am going to play my Switch.
You know, Splatoon is pretty dope. You know, my son, he actually is heavy in Splatoon.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cute. I love that. Yeah.
And one of the things that I noticed, I was like, it's like a good entryway, like before Call of Duty. It's like Call of Duty, but in a kid form.
Oh yeah. I think it's one of the few like kid-friendly shooters because I feel like everybody can appreciate Splatoon, and it's kind of a good introduction, especially like I said, if you have kids or you kind of don't really, because personally I don't play Call of Duty. I'm not really big into military shooters. Except for like Tom Clancy games, which I'll play, more so like the sort of PvE titles. Like I was really big into Division and things like that. So Splatoon was a nice change of pace. I didn't get to play Splatoon until Splatoon 2, unfortunately. But I have logged in an ungodly amount of hours into that game.
Got to put that time in.
Right.
So you started you're quoted in saying that you started in 2014 streaming. Now, was that like your official start, or like were you streaming before, but that's when you took it seriously in 2014?
Oh no, I just started streaming in 2014. I did not start really getting a chance to take it seriously until I graduated college after 2016. I actually probably 2017 because I didn't graduate college till December 2016. So I started in I think August or September. Ooh, I gotta probably check that out because if it's already August. Jesus, I don't even know what day or month it is anymore. I'm still stuck in 2019. 2020 has just been a mess. Anyway, I started streaming at some point. I almost want to say it was sometime in September of 2014, and pretty much what it really was it was right around the time I got my PS4, and I found out that like people streamed their video games online to to have people watch, and I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Like I like to think I'm pretty entertaining, pretty funny, pretty nice to talk to, and I like games, so why not show people what I play and things like that. So I just kind of went from there. I think the first game that I actually streamed was Infamous Second Son.
Yep, you said that, and then the Silent Hill playable teaser.
Yes. Yep.
I be knowing.
Yep. You did your research. Good job. I'm proud of you. Yeah. So, because I got the little like the PlayStation little like deal that I got. It was like it came with a digital code for Infamous Second Son. So that was the first game that I streamed, and then the second one was Silent Hills PT. And I just I fell in love with it. I obviously was very inconsistent at the time just because of school and everything else that I had going on. I was in college at the time, and going through relationship stuff and just normal stuff for like the early 20-something-year-old. And like I said, I didn't really get a chance to start taking it more seriously until 2017. After I want to say like summer 2017 was kind of when I dove back into it and really kind of hit the ground running.
What was the turning point? Like, what made you say, you know what, I want to do this consistently. I want to turn this into something.
Well, pretty much like right after my college graduation, I went in December 2016. Like I said, I went through a really big and really bad breakup, and I, spent a good amount of time like upset, and it was one of the honestly the lowest points of my life. So when I was finally able to, because gaming at the time was just kind of difficult. I spent a lot of time like in bed watching like one of the things that I credit sort of getting me through that period, and was like Markiplier playthroughs, because his like Five Nights at Freddy's playthroughs, I pretty much during that time I watched like almost all his up until that point, all of his like horror game let's plays, because for some reason when I'm upset, I get lost in horror stuff because it's a good distraction. So I really wasn't gaming a lot during that time. But once I was finally like sort of feeling better and in a better like sort of mood and mindset, I was like, you know what? I really miss streaming, and people have been wondering sort of when I'm coming back. And so I was like, okay, now that I'm feeling better and am in a better space mentally, I've moved on from this. I really want to get back into it and sort of pick up where I left off.
Dope.
Hey, I want to talk to you today about GeeksetPodcast.com, the only place that blends hip-hop culture and geek culture together in one place, and the only place to get your official Geekset swag. Go to our shop and view our wide selection that we offer, from the No Dubs collection, Big Bit Tees, Talking That Geek-ish, and more. Today, use code Deuces during checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. Then, take a picture and post it on Instagram using the hashtag Geekset for a chance to be featured on our page, and a chance to win extra deals in the future. So don't hesitate. Drop by the website today. Listen to our latest episode, watch our latest videos, read our latest reviews, and shop with your favorite geeks. GeeksetPodcast.com.
One of the things that I like to do is to make sure that we are giving people their flowers while they're here, right? Just letting them know like how much they are appreciated. And so I want to explain like how I kind of got introduced to you and why I champion you so much when I after I found you. Because when we started this podcast, I was like, okay, we're going to dive deep into geekdom, all realms of geek, what does people geek out? So then when I was looking into gaming, I was like, you know what? I bet you there got to be a whole lot of women of color who are gaming that are dope as shit. So then, of course, search women of color gaming, black women gamers and stuff like that. And your name just kept on popping up in all of these articles and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, she got a dope name. Let me follow her. And we started following you. And then just watching as you progress. One of the things that I really, really appreciated is how vocal you are against misogynistic people, against racist people. And, you had once said that you were saying like, you use Twitter as that platform to get your thoughts out. But I love the fact that you are utilizing that for just to speak up in matters of places like the gaming world, where it is, gatekeeping, and there's a whole lot of, people saying, oh, you can't do this. Like E3 put out that bullshit article just a couple well, I don't know if they put out, but they tweeted out.
With Sudoku and Solitaire and Candy Crush and Sims. Yes.
So it's like, the fact that you speak out on stuff like that and very vocal about it. And I love the fact how you don't back down. Like, with Twitter can be a gift and a curse. And you get those people that come for you, but your clapback arm is strong.
Well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. To be honest with you, I mean, I have always been that way. I mean, I definitely was a little bit more, I don't want to say shy, but like, I guess kind of when I was younger, I was always very outspoken, but I was definitely a bit more shy. And, but I think that was due to at that time sort of a lack of confidence. But then sort of as I got older in age, obviously developed that confidence, and it was just sort of like that increased like tenfold. I mean, it's one thing to be outspoken and then sort of.
Hello? 1 second here. I think we're having technical difficulties. I can't hear you no more. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Oh, I can hear you back. I don't know what just happened. Sorry about that.
Okay. No, you're okay. You're totally fine. But yeah, I kind of want you to combine those two things. It's just a recipe for it was just bound to happen. And I've always been passionate about social issues. That was just sort of how I was raised. I've got my mom's personality, and she cares about this stuff as well. I even have an uncle who's a civil rights activist. So I think that I was sort of destined to sort of go down that path. And like I said, I was always very outspoken. I had definitely a huge interest in it. And, especially using like Twitter and using that sort of platform. So when I started streaming on Twitch, it was sort of one of those things that was sort of inevitable that it was going to bleed over into that, because I tell people all the time that like, you can't separate Katie from PikaChulita. It's the same. I'm the same person on and off Twitch. I'm not going to water down the things that I say. The things that I say on Twitch are the things that I say in person are the same things that I'll say on Twitch, Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. There's no deviation from who I am or the sort of personality that you get. And, I was definitely more, I think, combative on Twitter, sort of when it came to the dumb shit or the people being ignorant and stupid or just being assholes and stuff. But now I've learned how to, despite there being times where I want to, go off on somebody, a lot of times the most I'll do is I may just pick one person and quote their tweet, say some shit, make an example out of them just for shits and giggles. And, then I just go on my business. I block them. My block list grows and grows every single day, because I realize that playing into that shit is yeah, it's what they want. And then also it's worse for my mental and emotional health than it is theirs. And I need to take care of myself first and foremost. So once I kind of found that balance, it became an even more like fulfilling thing. And it became even less like sort of emotionally and mentally taxing for me as well.
Well, do you got like a name for your hive? Because that's one thing I see. You do have people that ride for you heavily. Like, so like when somebody do come at you or somebody do say some fucked up shit, like I've seen people ride for you and they all go in on that person. Like you gotta name your fandom.
I don't have a name for my fandom. I don't have a name for, my community on Twitch is, I call them the Pika crew. But
so the what crew?
The Pika crew.
Oh, that's dope.
So like Pikachu, Pika crew. Yeah. I think it's just, honestly, truth be told, I think even if I did not stream on Twitch, I think that sort of thing would still happen, at least with my Twitter, because I think people just recognize and generally say, like, you're a really good person. You're like the nicest person I've ever met. And I think that they just realize that when I get this bullshit, it's just unwarranted or it's something that's just fucking ridiculous. Exactly. And so they will be quick to sort of, generally speaking, most people will stand up for somebody that's like a good person or that sort of deserves to be, stood up for. So that's just, and it just so happens that I have a significant amount. I have, 13,000 plus followers on Twitter. So it just kind of, it translates to that where it's like, I'll just, I don't even intentionally try to like sick the hounds on him, but it's just, it's what happens. Cause there's even times where I don't even quote somebody. I will literally just tweet them like, as a reply, and it'll, I guess, come up on their timeline, and I'll go back and look at the person's tweet and I see all my people under there and I'm like, damn, I didn't even like announce that this was happening, and yet
that's because listen, I'm not gonna hold you, but that's because you have crossed over to protect at all costs. Like you ain't coming for our peoples like that.
Pretty
like,
much,
so,
yeah.
So
you
are in that realm. Like, we gonna ride for you. Like, no matter what. Like, listen here. Like, don't be saying anything sideways because you gonna have to see us.
Right. Well, and I think it's also because I think a lot of people know that I would do the same for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's like it's kind of a mutual thing because I'm the same way. I'm sort of the mom friend. I'm the protector. My community likes to tell me that I try to carry the community on my back. So I do a lot because I'm one of those people who I know that I can't, but I still do it. I'm like I can save the world type of person. So I'm just the protector. I'm the helper. So I think it's like I said, a mutual thing on their part.
But you know what's also makes everything dope is because that you are so vocal on Twitter and things. I know there's some people who are like, oh, you can't do that because companies ain't gonna work with you. But then like you see like the Now This article that video that you did at the end of last year, like that was so dope because it was about women, you know, in the gaming industry, you know, Black women, and then just like, you know, against those different, like, you know, those stereotypes or those misconceived notions that they have around women gaming, right? So you see things like that, or then you see like you in GameSpot, you know, identified you as a streamer to watch. Like you have these big name companies that's like, look, we're gonna take PikaChulita as with everything that she comes with because she's dope. We like what she's doing. We like that, and I think that is always a good formula because now you know no matter what you are a part of, they know what you are about, and you're not really selling yourself. You're able to be your authentic self 100% of the time. And anybody that go in business with you, they know what to expect. So I love that about you and about the things that you have done because when I was doing my research and I just Googled your name, it was a whole bunch of articles like that. Women to watch, Black women to watch, and it, you know, I saw there was one that was like Black Lives Matter in gaming, and it was you were part of that article. So it's like that is the dopeness because now you are building like it's a part of your character, which it already is, but now like the people who only know you from streaming and gaming, now they see, oh yeah, this is definitely a part of her character, and I think that's pretty dope.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And I mean, and that's one thing that I really just, I preach is like, because I mean, we see, unfortunately, there's too many people. Unfortunately, obviously, the main sort of demographic on Twitch, especially the most popular Twitch streamers, are all white straight men, but even the sort of bigger names, the bigger.
Hold on. I don't know what's going on with the audio here.
No. Nope. Take your time. You're good.
There you go. Our internet keep on going in and out. It's weird.
That's okay. That's totally fine. We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. But yeah, one is, like I said, one is too many. But there's people, a lot of these sort of bigger name personalities on content creation platforms who are they're very I'm just gonna be blunt, they're sellouts. And it's very well, I'm not going to speak out about this, or I'm not going to call this person out or XYZ because I'm worried about my sponsors. I'm worried about fucking up my money and things like that, et cetera, et cetera. Sort of surrounding sort of focusing their content so heavily on social issues. Yeah. I understand that, but at the same time, it's like, I also don't believe in being silent because to me, silence is complicity. Yes. And to me, it's like, if you're not sort of standing for anything, well, what is sort of the meaning behind this? I mean, yeah, money's cool, but at the end of the day, what do you have something that you stand for? Do you have something that you would die for, et cetera, et cetera? So that's why I made it a point coming into this to not sort of sugarcoat anything, to sort of give anybody a watered down version of me, because it's like, well, I personally, even if there are brands or companies or whatever else that would be off-put from working with me, or people that would be off-put from doing work with me for this exact reason, I don't want to work with them anyway, because if you would be off-put, or if any sort of thing that I say leaves a bad taste in your mouth, then, I don't want any business with you anyway. And so fuck money, fuck sponsorships, or whatever else you could give me, because none of that is worth me not speaking about these things that need to be spoken about. Because people not speaking about them and turning a blind eye to them and being more focused on their brand or sponsorships or whatever else, that sort of helped breed the sort of existing culture that exists in gaming. I mean, in society in general, but especially gaming. So I just like don't care, and that's why I applaud like the companies like that. Like I'm a Logitech affiliate, obviously. I'm a St. Jude ambassador. Like I have these sorts of companies, brands, organizations that love me and that work with me, and these people, you know, the people that are over them follow me on Twitter, and I don't get any kickback. So it's like that shows me it's like people, it's not, I mean, not that I ever thought it was me, but I'm like, it's clearly not me if these companies would not want to work with me. It's them. And not to mention, I'm not a full-time streamer. Streaming does not pay my bills.
Right.
It gives me extra money, but I have a job at the end of the day. And I don't ever, I always say that if, unless I was making like Ninja, you know, Dr. Lupo money, I would never feel comfortable streaming full time because it's just such a gamble. So until that day comes, I mean, not even until that day comes, because I'm still going to be me regardless, but it's like, I'm not going to be stressing about money because at the end of the day, streaming out, my bills are paid. I don't care who, I don't need, you know, views, followers, subs. I don't need that stuff that bad. I am strictly, I've started taking streaming more seriously and things like that. But in the day, I do it for fun. And part of that, and just at any given point in time, you're going to get the raw, unfiltered me. I don't create content for everybody, nor am I trying to fit into this predominantly white, straight male space. I'm trying to make my own space. They do not have to accept me. I'm not here to impress them. I'm not here to get them to like me. I'm not for them, and that's okay.
I mean, that makes sense. And the thing about it is the goal is to turn your fun and what you love into, if it becomes a career, right? So but you don't want to lose the love and the fun for it, because then it won't be fun anymore. Then it's just like, oh, now it's only business and everything.
Right. And it becomes taxing at that point.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So your last list that you said, and I want to see that anything changed. So this is what, if I'm not mistaken, you said you didn't have a specific game that was your favorite game, but you had a couple of them. So we rambled off. You said BioShock, Plants vs. Zombie, Overwatch, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy X, Sonic Adventures 2, Pokemon Ruby, Super Mario Sunshine, and Outlast. Has anything new have crept in since then?
Yes, I don't remember when that list was from. It sounds I don't remember when, because that sounds familiar.
It was from a podcast that you did, I think, early last year.
Okay, so there was one that was missing up there. I probably just forgot to say it. It's definitely a Shadow of Mordor.
Okay.
Shadow of Mordor. I love Shadow of Mordor. God of War for sure. The God of War remake. I would have to say probably the Ratchet and Clank remake as well, which, I mean, obviously there was more to that list, but I just named those that kind of came off the top of my head. I would also have to say there's some Switch. I feel like there's some Switch games that I'm missing, and I'm maybe Splatoon. You could throw Splatoon on that list. Splatoon. Gosh, let's see. I'm thinking if there's any like PC games that I'm missing, because obviously I just started gaming on PC last May was about the time that I really got into it. That's a pretty
accurate list.
Yeah, just off the top of my head, because I mean, again, I have a whole list of, I lose so much track of stuff that I'm gonna pull up my Steam real quick. Give me just a second, because this is gonna bother me, because I'm like, there's something on PC that I'm missing here, and I'm not, and I may not be. I could very well be wrong. Nope, I'm wrong. I mean, I've got some fun games that I like to play on PC, but I would not put that with my list of all-time favorites.
What's the worst game that you played through all the way through?
Worst game. You know, I've been pretty lucky to, first of all, I don't beat games that often because I'm just terrible with starting games and never finishing them.
See, I'm the opposite. I gotta, no matter how bad the game is, if I start it, I have to finish it.
Oh God, no. If I don't like, I'm like, fuck this. I'm gonna just.
I wish.
No.
It bothers me.
I don't think. Honestly, I don't think I've finished a bad game because all of the games that I've ever beat I only beat games if I really like them. Truth be told, I will only beat a game if I really, really like it, because
So
I'm at the point in my life, within the last couple years, it's like, I feel like I can get a sort of like Horizon. I thought Horizon was a great game, but I never beat it. You know what I'm saying? Just because there was just so much, even back before I had it, I had a PC, but I just, juggling games has been difficult for me because I have so many different genres that I like. So I never beat Horizon, but I feel like I played enough of it to get a feel for it and to say, okay, this is a good game. I like it. So I feel like I'm to the point, like I said, in my life where I can play a good part of a game, not even, it can be half or even less than half. It's like, okay, I like this game, but I don't necessarily need to finish it. It's kind of like eating food, but not finishing your plate, but you still loved it, but you just didn't finish your plate.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of greedy when it comes to food. I'm scraping that plate clean. You know what? The worst game I ever played that I finished. So when I was younger, I got super excited when I had a Nintendo 64, and they came out with this game that I thought was going to be the next Super Mario. It was called Glover. It was supposed to.
Wait, don't do. I liked Glover. Glover was hard though.
I hated Glover. It was hard.
Glover was hard.
I hated Glover so bad.
Glover was kind of creepy. I remember playing that, and there were like levels and like that weird like desert level that like granted, I was playing that when I was like 6 and I had no idea what I was doing, but I just remember rolling on the ball, and there was just a lot of stuff that I could not get past, but I liked it. I feel like that's one of those things that I may need to go back and play because I feel like now I'd actually know what I was doing.
Right.
But I understand why you did not like it.
I did not, and I was just like, and I started it, and I even put it on my Christmas wish list, and so I got it, tried it, and I'm just like, now I got to finish it because my big soul, and then sell to the game, and then I found out later that it wasn't. I for some reason thought that was supposed to be Mario's glove, like I thought it was the glove.
That's cute. I didn't even.
So I thought it was, and then come to find out that it's not. It's just a glove. But I'm like, yeah, I did not like Glover at all.
Oh.
So you're also a big anime fan, though you said you don't like to talk about it on Twitter, which I understand because you talk about anime on Twitter and it gets wild. But what animes are you? Like, what are your favorite animes?
Okay, so that's actually a lot easier, I think, to name. Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Yu Yu Hakusho, Maid Sama, Azumanga Daioh, which is actually that wall scroll that I have back there. I was like, which direction am I going in? Kami-sama Kiss, which is that one right there. I really do like My Hero, Demon Slayer. I'm trying to think of some kind of older ones because I'm definitely I like newer anime, but I think majority of my favorite series are kind of are older. Gravitation. I'm just kind of looking around my room to see if there's like anything. Black Butler. There's different. I'm very Gugure Kokuri-san. There's a good amount, but and I love Hayao Miyazaki films as well, even though it's not like a set anime, but those are like anime films. So
well, I mean, because you also get into the mangas as well, as far as like you're deep into reading about reading the animes as well, because I know it's always different. There's like you have the people who love anime but they're only watching it, but then you got the people who love anime who does both, and I think that when you do both, you get a deeper like fandom for these animes because then you see how it is, and then you see how it's portrayed when it comes across on TV and everything. But you're really invested into those characters and everything. Now,
yeah. I mean, and definitely my favorite series. I have both, pretty much all of them read and watched. Because there's some that I will like really like the manga, but it only has like an OVA, or something. Or the anime is I've watched the anime and I'm like, I like the anime, but I'm not too inclined to read the manga, but for pretty much all of my favorite series, except for My Hero. I'll make the exception for that. But which I had said that I was going to start reading it. I just haven't had the time. But for pretty much everything like Demon Slayer, Trigun, things like that, I've read and watched it. So
All right, settle something for me real quick because
okay.
my podcast host thinks I'm crazy, but I think Goblin Slayer is the trashiest anime ever. Not Demon Slayer, Goblin Slayer.
Right. So I only watched like part of the first episode, and there's a pretty triggering thing that happens at the very beginning. Okay, that's what we're talking. Okay, I was like, if I'm thinking of the same series, yeah. So that was like, whoa, could have did without that, but okay.
Exactly what I said.
Yeah, I was like, we could have did without that, but. So other than that, I haven't really. I like I said, I literally watched like the first episode, like part of the first episode, or maybe the first episode, and I think maybe I briefly opened the manga in hopes that maybe it was different, and I was like, because I think I remember reading the manga first, like the first chapter, and I was like, oh. Okay, because the manga is a little bit more explicit than the anime. And then I was like, well, let me see the anime. Maybe they did a little bit better at this. And it's like, you did better, but still not.
So here's my main reason for it, why I didn't like. So it was that part as well. But then I was like, when I'm watching an anime, I want to root for somebody. Like I want to latch on to somebody. Like this is my person. I really didn't care about anybody in that anime besides I just wanted to see the goblins get killed because of how vile there was, and because of that I couldn't connect to somebody. I was like, I don't care who is the main character, as long as these goblins get killed, that's all I care about. And so that's why I was like, I can't connect with this anime because I don't connect with anybody. All I want to do is just see the goblins get killed. And so that's
you don't care about any of the characters. You don't feel any sort of connection to them. So, and when it's and series like that if I can't connect to any of the characters, I'm definitely like,
So you're also a huge Harry Potter fan, or it's not huge?
I was.
Oh, you were. Oh, yeah. So that did change your outlook on Harry Potter.
Unfortunately, it's to the point now where it's like I have a Deathly Hallows poster over there on my wall, and I'm actually taking it down to make room for some of my best friend's artwork that I ordered. I have Hufflepuff pillowcases that I honestly don't really want anymore. I mean, I've already paid for them, so it's like it's not. It
changes that outlook.
Yeah, it's I can't enjoy it like I used to. You know what I mean? And it's like it sucks because I was gonna put my best friend. He had not seen in this series, and we had already prior to all this, we had already watched Fantastic Beasts because obviously I'm a Hufflepuff, so and I love Fantastic Beasts. So we had already seen both the Fantastic Beasts. I showed them to him, but then I was making it a point to go back and show him the actual like main series. But I told him the other day, I was like we actually brought it up. I was like, yeah, it sucks because I had him watch Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and I was like, I would love to sit here and have you watch the Harry Potter films, but I feel like there's no point because it's not really appropriate for you to be able to, it's like to be able to celebrate and talk about it and sort of be in the fandom freely. And it's just like, and he was like, yeah, so it's like, well, we may as well not even watch them now. It's like, who's to say that I may not, go back and rewatch the Fantastic Beasts films on a legally ambiguous website, to where, nobody receives any money for it. But I've other than that, and that's even a huge if because it's like, yeah, I've lost.
And that makes sense. It's one of those things is like, you hate it when it's something that you love, but your morals is more important than that love for that fictional property. And so like it makes 100% sense. So we'll move on from that. So somebody who's not canceled right now, we'll talk about Star Wars because you're also a huge Star Wars fan.
Yes. Yeah. Star Wars is, as of now, knock on wood, because the way that things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if something popped up, Lord. I still have Star Wars and I still have Lord of the Rings Hobbit, thankfully. If I lose I lose Lord of the Rings Hobbit, I'm giving up. I'm be like, I'm done here. I'm not getting attached to anything because that is the one that's going to hurt me. That's gonna hurt me more than Star Wars does.
So you've been about this geek life for a minute then, because like,
Yeah.
So what got you into it? Because like being a person of color, you know, a lot of times like back in the day, like that wasn't even like, it was one of those things that was kind of under. That's kind of like what the inception of this podcast was. We came up with this podcast. I'm like, fam, like I got much love for the geek properties that I watch and that I listen to, because they give me a lot of knowledge and they're dope content. But I don't hear people that sound like us. And these people, you know, my host and the people that I rock with, we talk about this shit all the time. You know, like it's like barbershop talk. We're like, oh man, Goku and Vegeta, like, you know, we start talking about just like all that type of stuff. But like, you know, in how we talk. So like, you know, that's kind of what gave us this space to create this and say, look, we're going to create a space. It's all people of color, but we're going to be talking about, you know, anime, video game, comic books, but from the Black point of view. And it's, you know, it's really dope. So how did you get into like just into your geekdom? Was it somebody in your family, or did you just naturally jump into it?
Honestly, excuse me, I naturally jumped into it. I mean, I pretty much, for as long as I can remember, I was like 4 or 5. Pokemon was what I latched onto first, was Pokemon and Pikachu, and I fell in love with that, and it just sort of spiraled from there because I was like, oh, there's games that I can play of this, and obviously learning that that's like anime. And so like I had, you know, it wasn't like one of those things. I was very lucky to have a household where that was all supported. Like you know, there was no sort of criticism of it. Nobody else, I had like a brother that would come stay with us sometimes that was into it and things like that. But my sister's only a year older than me. We were practically twins. She was into it too. So yeah, so like I had the Game Boy Color. I had the Game Boy Color, ended up with the Game Boy Advance. I had Nintendo 64. My first like console was a Nintendo 64. I was a little bit later than everybody else because everybody else had like Super Nintendo, you know, NES, like things like that, where I was like, no, my first like console was a Nintendo 64. So I had Nintendo 64, I had a PlayStation, I had a Dreamcast, you know, and it just kept going from there. And then it got to the point where, you know, with like PlayStation 2 coming out, GameCube, my parents fed my habit, but then also my late grandfather did, because it was basically like whenever I would bring home, me and my sister would bring home a good report card, he would just take us to Walmart or Best Buy and be like, pick out whatever game you want, whatever. And I remember like I literally got the GameCube when it first came out. That was when, you know, things were dropping with a game and a guide, which I got Star Fox Adventures.
Classic.
And
It's a classic.
Yeah. And that was huge because back then, I mean, paying that much for a console was unheard of. So I felt like hot shit because I'm like, wow, I got the GameCube, and because like my grandpa will buy me whatever I want. And I remember he got me, my sister, and my 3 cousins, all Nintendo DS's when they first dropped too. That's when they came with Super Mario and Super Mario 3DS, and then I think it was Super Metroid.
Okay.
And yeah, so I mean, we were just on it. Like I just had a family who just, I mean, like I said, my sister was into it. My cousins was very close to my cousins. And so yeah, I grew up in a very like supportive household, and they absolutely just like fed and harbored my habits. So I was lucky enough to not have encountered a lot of things that I think a lot of other people did, sort of growing up with gaming and sort of anime and things like that.
Oh, that's dope. That's super dope. Yeah. So when in July you became Twitch part of the Twitch partner program, right? How has things been since then? I mean, it literally was just about a month ago, but yeah, how like what comes with that, and how does that change with your twitching?
So honestly, what comes with that, I mean, for me, it's not, I mean, it's cool, but it was one of those things where it's like, if I get it, that's great. But if I don't get it, it's fine. You know, I'm just doing this for fun. What comes with it is just extra. Because my biggest thing is sort of making a difference and having fun doing so. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of like Twitter. You know, it's when you have a check mark, people kind of take you more seriously. You get certain perks that other people don't have. I mean, you get like more emote slots, you get priority with certain things, you get like payouts faster. When they have like TwitchCon, you can go to like partner after parties, the partner lounge. There's different perks that that are just kind of across the board that you kind of automatically get like priority for, needless to say. And I kind of hate that there's like that sort of elitism, because that's totally not me. I'm just like, I'm a regular ass person. But my biggest thing is like, okay, well, if I hate that this is what it takes for people to sort of kind of take me seriously or kind of pay attention, but I mean, whatever, I'll use that to my sort of advantage and to other people's advantage as well. So, and yeah, I mean, like I said, it kind of just, it was cool. Like it was, but it was, I knew it was, I mean, I just knew kind of the way that I was going, I was bound to happen. And it was so funny because everybody around me was like, about time, don't they always use you in like their Twitch, their Twitter promos and things like that? I'm like, yeah, I've been in a decent amount of Twitch's like videos that they post on Twitter and things like that. And they were like, about time. I was like, yeah, it was.
When you announced it, I literally was like, wait, she wasn't already a part of it?
A lot of people said that. They were like, I thought you were already partnered. I was like, no, I was not. I think people just thought with like how well I was doing and sort of just with what Twitch was doing with me in the videos and like front page stuff, they just kind of already assumed. And so, which I took that as a compliment. I'm like, well, thank you for thinking I already was, but
So tell me about the cookout. What's the cookout and the collective, the cookout on Twitch?
So the cookout is a community for sort of a safe space for people of color. Excuse me, had a brain fart there.
Yeah.
They're currently kind of going under a bit of a rebranding right now.
Okay.
And yeah, and I've made it a point to kind of step away, just because I do so much stuff with my own. I'm doing so much stuff with myself, and my biggest sort of community focus right now is BGG, as Black Girl Gamers. So that's sort of because I'm a BGG streamer. I'm on the Twitch team, but I'm also like an official BGG streamer. So that's really,
what is BGG?
BGG is Black Girl Gamers. Yeah. So that is kind of more so my focus, because it was just like, I was just juggling so much stuff, like between work and trying to have a social life in the middle of the pandemic and BGG stuff. I was like, you know what, this needs to be, I got to kind of cut some stuff down here.
Right.
And yeah, so that BGG sort of became my main community focus.
And how big is the community right now, the BGG community?
Ooh, BGG is like, there's like 6,000 members, and BGG's partnered on Twitch now. They've got like 16,000 followers. On Twitter, it's like close to upwards of 20,000. It's up there. It's getting there. It's pretty damn big.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like you said, once you take what you love, and then you're able to put it into some type of form of like, okay, this is the progression that I wanted to go. It's easier for you to put your energy there. And I understand that, like, not overextending yourself. So where you have to, say, I gotta pick and choose and where it's at. So that makes 100% sense. So what is on your vision board? What goals or things that are you trying to reach now?
To be honest with you, just kind of, moving forward, doing the same things that I've been doing, and just, I'm kind of a go with the flow type person when it comes to my content. I don't particularly have like I got partnered. I mean, that was kind of, it was kind of like a nonchalant goal, like I said. But I got partnered. I did my first Twitch Rivals event actually yesterday.
Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry, Wednesday. Yeah, again, don't know what day of the week it is anymore. I did my first Twitch Rivals event on Wednesday. So I mean, obviously, like, I'd like to do more things like that. I would like to, do more Twitch Rival events. People have brought up like maybe becoming like a Twitch ambassador, which, I mean, those are just like picks. Those aren't something that you can like apply for. You know, maybe at some point get to the point where TwitchCon, like some streamers do meet and greets. Get to a point where somebody wants to have a meet and greet with me, I can do that.
I think at that point already. If I
Oh,
feel like if
well, here's the thing. Am I to the point where my community would love to do a meet and greet? Yes. But I'm talking about like a official TwitchCon meet and greet. Yeah. I don't think I appreciate it, but I don't think in Twitch, in terms of Twitch's standards, I'm there yet.
I'm saying don't underestimate where you're at.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I would love to keep doing more charity work. That's like my biggest thing is charity work. Is raising money for charities. I would love to sort of make that a pretty I mean, it's already a regular thing for me, but just to, you know, continue doing it, find more causes to I plan with later this year, within the next year, to, you know, sort of expand and sort of organize my own sort of charity events, things like that. That's kind of it for the most part that I can think of off the top of my head. So I mean, like I said, I'm just kind of a go with the flow type person. I definitely have some things in mind, you know, that I would like to sort of do. But most of it is just to do what I'm doing, I've already been doing at sort of a bigger scale.
Okay.
Really.
Right. So what game is the game that you are giving out smoking? Like if somebody's talking greasy, you like, look, you don't want to see me in this game. What would be that game that you got for you?
I'm really fucking good at Total Mayhem and Overwatch. I'm not gonna lie. Total Mayhem is my shit. I used to play a lot of like regular Overwatch, but now I'm like, I honestly only pull the game up.
Wait, what? My host. What's that again?
What is it? Wait, I can't hear him. What do you say?
Who do you main in Overwatch?
Oh, I have a couple of them. My first one that I ever picked up was Mercy Roadhog. But I've picked up a whole bunch of people. I do Zen, I do Diva, Sombra. I would have to say those are probably my 5 right there.
All right, because that's his game. Overwatch is his game.
Yeah. Like I said, the most
with you. He said he wanna get a session in with you.
That's totally fine. Is it PS4?
No, he's Xbox.
Oh, wait. Yeah. I ain't got no Xbox. I'm sorry. But yeah, those are like my 5 mains. But I used to play that and I fell in love with Total Mayhem. I still get on and play it from time to time, but Total Mayhem is pretty damn crazy in that. I would have to say, other than that, maybe Splatoon.
Busy in the Splatoon.
I'm not bad at Apex. I'm pretty good at Apex, I'd like to think. And that's about it off the top of my head. I'm also not bad at Smash.
Okay.
Not bad at Smash. I think for somebody that plays casually and doesn't do like the sort of FGC type shit, the real sweaty pro shit, like esports player stuff, I'm pretty good at Smash. Yeah.
So blending both worlds, if you can Twitch stream with an anime character right now, like you and that person go at it on a game or do a session, who would you pick?
Because I'm thinking of who I would have the most fun with.
Yeah.
I would have to say, if I said All Might, it was just because I love All Might. I love All Might. I literally, it's funny because I have 4 figures of All Might right so far, and I'm like, I have a problem. I have 2 Funko Pops and I have 2 of the band Presto figures, and I'm starting I have a problem here between that and my Pikachu stuff. I'm starting to develop into a problem. Maybe All Might, just because I love him. Vash, that would be funny. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to pull from my favorite
right.
From my favorite series. I think playing with the Nosuke from Demon Slayer would be pretty fun. That would be fucking hilarious because I love him. He is that he.
That was
I have not. Demon Slayer was the first anime that I laughed my ass off at. Like that was like in terms of like in a long time because
okay.
that it is genuinely funny.
Yeah.
And I be dying laughing at that shit. Like so I think he would I would say between All Might, Vash, and him would probably be top three.
That'd be your streaming
Yeah.
buddies right there.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we're gonna do so we got what we do a top 5, and then we do kind of like, so we're gonna do 2 top 5s and then a recommendation where you recommend some stuff. So
Okay.
I want to get from you top 5 consoles that you've ever played.
My number one would probably be GameCube.
Okay.
Agree,
but
GameCube, honestly, Switch, PS2, wait, okay, hold on. GameCube, Switch, PS2, Nintendo 64, and maybe my Nintendo DS.
All right.
Between Nintendo DS and PS4.
Okay. All right. The only one I don't agree with is the GameCube. My little brother had a GameCube. I didn't like it.
A lot of people, and that's why the GameCube did not do as well as it should have, because a lot of people did not like it. But that is probably my favorite console.
Oh, he swears up and down by it. Like that's one of his favorite as well. So
I actually still have my GameCube. Honestly, I won't part ways. I don't even play it. I won't part ways with it though.
All right. So another top 5 streamers. That's top 5 Twitch streamers that you enjoy watching.
Woo. Okay. So you're gonna have to give me a second to actually pull up my following list, because I'm just gonna try to pull from who's live right now or who I can think of off the top of my head. Because that's a good question, and I'll give you credit because nobody's ever asked me that. And I should be prepared. I should have been prepared because I'm like, what? That was coming. With me being on Twitch, like I should have known that was coming. Yeah. So I would probably have to say my dear friend, Nick NTV. They are a trans non-binary streamer and fucking hilarious. I absolutely love them. My best friend, Lord Balvin. He's also hilarious and a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful human being. Let's see. Ooh, this is a hard one. Yeah, I just got to see like who I follow, because I'm looking at my live list right now.
Yep.
But obviously there's people that are not live at the moment who I still enjoy watching. Let's see. I'm not gonna lie to you. Majority of the people that I follow are people of color, queer. Yeah, I don't follow a lot of.
The majority of podcasts that we connect with and that we follow are podcasts of colors as well. So it's like, look here, we are on that same wave.
Yeah.
But while they say I'm voting for everybody that's black.
Right. That bronze girl.
Okay.
I absolutely love her. She is one of my other dear friends. And you thought my clapbacks were legendary. She is the blueprint. She is great. And I mean, BGG, I will say BGG, but BGG is kind of a collective because I mean, it's multiple of us that are streaming on there, but all the women that stream on there are amazing. So I'll say BGG as well. So what is that? We're at 4. All right, we got one more. This is gonna be a hard one. Here. Give me a second. I'm gonna find it.
No rush.
I'm gonna figure it out. But at least I'll know for in the future when if I get asked this, because I have a feeling that this is it's inevitable to be asked this at some point.
Yeah. Why are you looking? Where are you from? I couldn't find that. I guess I couldn't.
I was actually born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri, and I live in Memphis, Tennessee.
All right. I love.
Yeah.
I love.
Why did you ask? Are you talking about like because of how I sound?
No. I was just like.
Oh.
I just like to know where people are. Where
Oh yeah, no, that's cool. The reason I asked is because people always will be like you, especially like because I tell them I'm like from Memphis and they're like, you're not from the South, are you? I'm like, no, I'm not. Most people can tell because I don't have an accent.
Yeah, we're out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but I love Memphis so much because y'all downtown smells like barbecue everywhere. You guys,
Yeah,
barbecue.
downtown is I definitely used to go downtown a lot. I mean, obviously I haven't been down there because of the pandemic, but it's still fun. I mean, like I said, before the pandemic, I was going down in that area a lot, very often. Jesus, I'm sorry. This is
It's
probably.
It's A-okay.
I would have to say, it would be between Story Mode Bay and X Mirror Mira are probably the other two.
There's somebody named Story Mode Bay.
Story Mode Bay, yes.
That's hilarious.
She's great. She is absolutely wonderful. And X Mirror Mira, she's a very famous black simmer. She's me a game changer. And these are all friends of mine. And that's why it was so hard to pick because I'm like, I have pretty much all these people I know, or they're like my friends and things like that. And I follow so many people that make amazing content. So,
all right. So last thing, recommendation. So we always give our listeners and our viewers a recommendation. It could be something that you want them to read, watch, check out. What recommendation would you like to give our viewers?
Thinking more watching.
Okay.
Honestly, at this point, majority of what I read is I like to read Reddit no sleep threads.
Okay.
You know what those are?
No.
Those are they're basically horror stories written by people. So basically, what people do is they get on Reddit, and there's a subreddit which is basically just like a sort of a like it's like almost like a channel essentially, and it's called No Sleep, and it's just people posting horror stories, really good horror stories, and they're very well written. They're much better written than majority of Hollywood horror films are.
So you're a big horror fan. It sounds like because you like horror games. All right.
I'm very weird. I like to read horror stories before I go to bed.
All right. Well, before you give your recommendation, then favorite horror film.
Oof. You can never ask me. That's the problem. You can never ask me favorites, anything, because I'm gonna give you like 5 to 10 things. Okay.
Give us the 5 or 10.
Belt them out. Okay, cool. Conjuring 1 and 2. I love the Alien films. I'm definitely an Alien.
Films. Oh my God, I love the Alien films.
Yeah, I'm Alien over Predator all the way. I have no interest in Predator at all whatsoever. Right. Life.
That was a good. That was a good one.
Yes. Mama. The Taking of Deborah Logan. Cabin in the Woods. The Evil Dead remake. The Evil Dead remake.
Yes. That remake was really good too.
Train to Busan. I watched a new one recently called The Wailing. It's a Korean horror film. Loved it. Those are the ones that I can kind of think of off the top of my head. But yeah, I like I said, I read when I'm upset or like annoyed or angry or sad or anything like that, or something that just need help. I just do it before bed. Like I said, I read those no sleep horror stories, or I watch horror playthroughs of games because it's weird. I mean, you would think, who the hell reads horror stories before bed?
No, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
But it's just so relaxing and distracting, and I don't. Which is funny because I'm kind of a paranoid person in that sense, but I still do it, and sometimes I'll definitely.
I got a great idea for you.
Okay, what's up?
All right, so here's what you got to set up at one point.
Okay.
You have to find a place that is quote unquote haunted. And then you have to do a Twitch stream from the haunted, like you stream in a haunted place.
That would be fun. I've actually told myself that at some point in my life, I want to go to one of those like castles.
Yeah.
In, like Europe, those haunted castles, and like do like the little like tour of them, or like stay the night in one. I've actually said that I've wanted to do that, but I just haven't had a chance to.
Would you go to the catacombs?
Go to them, yes. Stay the night in them, absolutely not. Because I'm not staying the night underground at all. That's off principle. If it's underground, I'm not staying right there unless it's in a bunker.
Yeah.
And or something because I have to be there to avoid like nuclear fallout or something. That's just off principle. That reminds me, another one of my favorite horror films, The Descent.
Okay.
I've watched too many. Being in caves and being underground it gives me anxiety because I'm like something could collapse and I'm below Earth. No, thank you. But visiting the catacombs, I would absolutely do that.
I don't even know if I would visit it, man. The catacombs scare the crap out of me. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, they're scary. They're scary. But I would absolutely 100%. I want to have as weird as it sounds, I want to have a experience with like a sort of
supernatural.
Yes, either that or with some kind. I've never seen a UFO. I want to see a UFO so damn bad. I'm like, I want to just see it. Just not that I don't believe other people, but I'm just like, I want to be able to say I experienced it myself so I can say for sure, like, this is what this was. That way I don't have to just sort of try to, that way I don't have to just try to believe other people, basically.
Here's what I always said. I said, if I see a UFO and it lands, that's all I need. So I think the issue that we see when we watch movies and shows, people, when they see it land, they want to go get closer, and then that's how they end up getting shot by the aliens. All I need to do is see it. If I see it, then that's all I need, and I'm good. Because I don't need no alien trying to grab me. If I see it, that's it. I seen it. Boom.
That's how I am. I just want to see it because at the end of the day, I know what is. I'm going to know what is like. Right. I know when it's something else. Like I'm gonna know if it's some kind of plane or something like that. I don't have to do anything extra. I just want to be able to say that I saw one, and I am all good and set. As for what I would like for people to watch, I would say watch The Wailing. Yeah. For sure. If you're into horror. Another thing that I'm sort of thinking of like shows. I'm just gonna kind of pick like just from here and there. Anime Gugure Kokuri-san. It's very funny. It's like kind of a supernatural. It's not slice of life, but it's like a supernatural, and it's funny. It's very funny.
Okay.
Netflix shows. I'm thinking. Loved Lost in Space. Love Altered Carbon. There's another Netflix series called Dark Tourist. It's like obviously like a thing where this guy goes to like what's dark tourism, which is basically like non-conventional like tourism, like it's not necessarily like haunted places, but it's still just like it's just dark tourism spots. That's also a very good series. That's about all that I can think of kind of off the top of my head. Hey, yeah.
I only asked for one and you gave three, so that's great.
I can never choose just one of anything pretty much. So yeah.
We are A-okay with it. All right. So where can people find you at? For those who or may not know where they can find you at, how can they find you?
I am the same on every platform. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram is PikaChulita. That's just Pikachu, and then Lita, Lita at the end. I am same thing across everywhere.
All right. And do you have a official Twitch schedule, or just follow you and then?
I do, but do I always stick to it? No. So I generally am set to stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, in the evening time. Like today I went live a little bit earlier. I just kind of streamed while I was actually working. I'm very firm believer in I need breaks, especially because I do work full time. So, and just trying to sort of maintain a good like mental standing sort of in the midst of the pandemic. So it's like, I absolutely, take breaks, and there's times where I'll cancel streams or I'll reschedule them till the next day. I may take Monday stream like, I'm tired tonight, or I have a headache, or I'm just not in the mood to stream. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll instead do a Tuesday stream. But generally speaking, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
All right. Well, again, this is the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. I have been your boy Deuces. This has been the amazing PikaChulita, and we are out.
Bye.
Hey.
You like that video? Man, thank you for watching. We truly appreciate it. We got so many more videos on our page, so make sure you check them out over here. hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so that way you can always be notified anytime we release a new video. You already know how Geekset get down. We got so much coming for y'all, man. Check it out. Stay in tune.
There was a time where hip-hop culture and geek culture were at odds.